All right, we can probably hear me with this setup now. Sweet. All right, well, I haven't said anything really important anyways. So, hello everybody and welcome to the stream. I would love to know if this is your first time here or if you guys have been here before. I see Ashley in the chat. Hello, Ashley. Hydro Tahiti. Hello. I'm so grateful that I have so many audio engineers who are always helpful with my audio stuff. I feel like am always getting it wrong, but yes, stoked to have you guys on the chat. I want to point out, look at this beautiful giant case, you guys. I just got a cello. For those of you in the Instagram chat, I just got a cello. I'm so excited, and I have a Zoom call with my grandma tomorrow, who's a music teacher, and we're gonna have our first lesson. So that's what's exciting in my land of news. Art Machine, yay, welcome back. Hello, fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. Okay, let's get into it. I'll give a quick rundown of how this goes down, and then we will get started. So, if you want to submit your song, you can do so by going to the link in my bio, or just right in the video description. It's right there. There is a link to upload your song. Once it's uploaded, I'm going to be opening up the queue to 5 songs. I'll just pick the first 5 songs that you type in the chat. So I'll ask for song names, you type in your song, and then I will add it to the queue. Once we have 5 and we've gone through 5, then we'll add another 5 in. But I do want to make sure that only the people who are in the chat are actually getting their songs listened to, or else it's kind of pointless. So, with that being said, go ahead and submit the name of your song. So if you already uploaded a song, please put it in the chat and I can start grabbing them and adding them to the queue. Another thing I'll note is that we're going to be creating a playlist of our best of songs. So if you like a song in particular and you think it needs to be playlisted, do let us know and we can make sure it gets added to the playlist. And to anyone on Instagram, join the link in my bio, come submit a song and then listen to it with us. Okay, we got some sounds coming in. Bounce Back version 3. There we go. Add that to the queue. We have got Smiling Tree 325, which I don't see again, or Solo Nights. There we go. It's 322. Smiling Tree. Oh no, sorry. The Smiling Tree. There we go. Okay. Added to the queue. Next one we have is Solo Nights 322 with Ashley. Hello, Ashley. Good to see you. Josh Comedy. Welcome back, Josh. Good to see you. Let's add Fire with Fire. And any others. I think that's 4. I think we have space for one more. And also it kind of goes without saying, you guys are awesome, but good vibes only. So we're only giving constructive, helpful, or positive feedback. But we love getting your feedback. I really love when folks are popping off in the chat. So if you have anything that you want to share about the song, something you like, something you think could be better, go ahead and share that. I always learn a lot from a lot of you guys, so don't hold back. And I also love knowing more about the song that you've created, so feel free to add anything you want about how you created your song. Otherwise, I'm going to just poke you and ask. All right, Arian says figure out the feeling, which I do not see. I can see if it was uploaded more recently. And it's just not on that other one. Yeah, figure out the feeling. Okay, I'll add that to the queue. Cool, that is 5, so we will start there. Our first one. Oh my god, did it start a brand new queue? No. All right, unfortunately, I have to wait till we get through this queue to add anything more because otherwise it just... if I refresh this refreshes the queue. I think Discord could be better today because it does not work. I don't know what that means, but if it doesn't work, I'm sure it does have room to be better. Coolio, guys, we're going to start with Bounce Back. And this is... who submitted this? Hydro Tahiti. So Hydro Tahiti, let us know anything you want to about how you made it, what DAW you're in, how you programmed it, anything you're stoked on, and let's check it out.
Strobe light flash. This room is breathing and the bass bounce back. Your face is deadly under strobe light flash. This room is breathing and the bass bounce back. Your face is deadly under strobe light flash. This room is breathing and the bass bounce back. Your face is deadly under strobe light flash. This room is breathing and the bass bounce back. Your face is deadly under strobe light flash. This room is breathing and the bass bounce back. Your face is deadly under strobe light flash. Bounce back, 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 bounce
Awesome! I'm just cut it earlier because it's a kind of a long song, but this sounds great. Islander, fuck yeah. I really don't have any notes on this. It's sounding clean. It's sounding fun. It's got a great groove to it. It's the vocals sound really good too. So really no notes. I think one thing I might do, I don't know if this is like the final version or what, but the kick does seem like it doesn't have a ton of like oomph to it, like especially here. Or maybe when it's just the kick. Like, do you hear how high up the kick is? It's kind of like boxy and high up. I'm not feeling like any woomph from the kick, and I think that's gonna be an issue when you get to the clurb. Let's hear it when it's kind of bouncing more. Yeah, oh, maybe you're just automating it, because like the kick sounds really good here. It's like definitely hitting, and then it's like not hitting at all here, you know? But it's hitting there. Oh, I get it. You're probably just automating it on and off. Okay, so never mind. I kind of take that back. I was like hearing that when it was really like small and being like, wait, you can't have this throughout the entire thing. Um, but it sounds like maybe you just had to put a filter on it for that little one section, which is totally fine. So, anyways, great song. Sounds awesome. Let us know when you release it. We're going to go ahead and add this to our playlist, our best of March 25 playlist. Cool. J'adore. Okay, thank you for sending that. Next one we have is the Smiling Tree. And I believe this is Art Machine. Art Machine, let us know about it. Let us know about the song. Awesome, Dave. I am happy that you submitted this again. I recognized it as soon as you started playing it. I was like, oh, this one. I do have a couple more notes so you can continue to incorporate this feedback. I might try the beginning not having any drums because I don't think the kick is really doing anything. I think just keeping it instrumental is doing what you want it to do, and then you have more like stories to tell, right? Like not as in more changes that we can make, right? At first we don't have the kick, and then we do have the kick. So I would suggest doing that, and then continue. I think it just needs to continue being mixed. The drums are buried pretty far in the back, and I don't think it should be very drum forward, because it's more of like a walk in the woods than like the drums being really heavily like focused in on. But I would go ahead and just keep mixing it. And then also there's certain sections, like there's like two different sections that I'm kind of noticing, like this section. And then like this section. Right, it's less of like a verse and a chorus and more just like an A and a B section. But I would say for one of the sections, particularly that like B section, this one, I was really hearing it open up and expand when you transition from one into the next. Do you see how you make that transition from one kind of musical idea to the next, but nothing really changes about the track besides what the sounds are being played? I touch upon this a little bit here when I say good place to incorporate like a stronger transition. So imagine like we have a couple more synths that come in to layer with the violin or one of the other synths that's already playing. So not introducing a new melody, but thickening the melody that you have and allowing us to really thicken the sound and expand it out in space. So maybe, you know, this A section is more kind of down the center, and then we have space when we get into the second section to really expand and to widen it, right? We're always thinking about how can we create movement between sections and throughout our entire song. And one way of doing that is automating or managing for width, getting wider and then coming back together. So I hopefully that's helpful. And let me know if you have follow-up questions for that. But yeah, and then also just in general, guys, I do teach music production. Maybe that's obvious or not obvious, but if anybody wants to have a deeper session talking about their song and or goals for music production or whatever, I'm happy to schedule some one-on-one calls with people. Okay, fabulous. Really great. I love this one. Let's add this one to the playlist as well. And our next one is Solo Nights by Ashley. So let's give it a listen. Wow, you've gotten a long ways for only starting a couple days ago. It's sounding really, really full. Congrats. I also agree, Ashley. I think you really made an emotive track with this one. So love it. Thanks for submitting this. Just a couple little notes I had. One, was just thinking about kind of ways that we can make this introduction a little bit more like show and telly, right? Or i.e. have it develop a little bit slower. I'm not going to give away all our cards at the beginning. I really do like the beat that you open it up with. But what if that shaker was like just a lot tighter and just had less of a shake to it, right? Just like a very kind of quick shake, or maybe even like a filter or something. Like, don't give us everything right off the bat, you know what I'm saying? I think those shakers could just be held back a little bit longer, whether that's a filter or whether that's just shortening their tail, and then have it come to like, you know, full shake when like the first drops hits, or when the full drums hit, like right around there. And then also was gonna say, oh yeah, I just like the way that you were layering your sounds. I felt like they were doing very different but like complementary things, the different synths. Like, they're both kind of doing their own arrangement. They're not necessarily all like changing chords at the same time. And so I think that's really, they're not doing like too much, but it's really good for creating like movement and interest. So I love this. I just say keep working on it, and it is sounding great. All right, next up we have, I think, one more on the queue. Fire with Fire by Josh Comedy. Let's give it a listen. Hell yeah. Thanks for submitting this, Josh. This one is a fun one. Yeah, definitely funky. Just a couple little wrecks here. There are a couple moments where there's just too much happening at once. Too many melodies, too many, not necessarily too many instruments, just too many melodies. This area right here. I feel like there's a band and nobody's listening to anyone else in the band and they're all just playing. And they're in the same key, but they're not listening to each other. The bassist is just shredding on the bass. The guitarist number one is shredding on the guitar. Guitarist number two is shredding on the guitar. But they're not coming together to form like a band. So I would spend some more time really thinking about how your different lines interact with each other. Because I think it's a question, one, of like, what melodies they're playing and how the melodies sound good together, and not just everyone trying to see how many notes they can play as fast as possible. And also a matter of just like not having as many melodies. Because right now, like, we as listeners can only listen to so many things at once, and the producer has to show you, tell you what to listen to, right? So we automatically go to the things that are right in front of our face. What is front and center in the mix? That's what we pay attention to. But when there are 4 things that are front and center in the mix, actually not true. You are panning here. But when there's just a lot of things happening, like, I don't know which melody you want me listening to. So I'm going to leave this track, and I don't have a hook stuck in my head. You know, I don't have a melody that I remember from this because so much is happening. So focus on simplifying and strengthening the melodies you have before, and like finding a hook or finding a riff, finding something to repeat that's going to get stuck in our heads. Otherwise it's going to sound like a whole lot of notes. And then also, I'm wondering if you can bring your kick up or make your kick more powerful, because throughout I'm hearing the hi-hat's really fine, but I'm not hearing the kick. Right, I don't know where the kick is, but that hi-hat I'm latching onto. So take a look at that again. But cool track. Thank you so much for submitting this. And yeah, give it a little bit of work, and then I think it'll be that much closer to releasing. So thank you, Josh. Okay, we're going to open back up the queue. So everyone, if you have a song and you want me to listen to it, please put the name of the song in the chat, and I will pull it up. I know that there was one at the end that someone submitted, and I said I didn't have room for it the first time. Figure Out the Feeling. I think that's what it was. I'm going to add that to the queue. And then what else do we have on the queue? Love by Bombay Cat. J'adore. And congrats to Bombay Cat for releasing their debut album. If you want to drop that in the chat, we would love to get to check it out if we get a chance. So huge congrats on that. It is such a big fucking deal to create, write, produce, and then release an album. There are so many physical and mental hurdles that go into it, spiritual hurdles that go into creating that. So really congrats, I'm sure, from all of us. Taste of Summer by Aodi. To Q, we got Oil Wars Final. Great. Awesome. I love an early submission. Fabulous. And then, ¿qué más tenemos? ¿Qué más? La última. Getting Down Tonight Revenge Remix by Steven. There we go. Steven loves his all caps. Okay, I think that's 5. And I also I'm realizing I don't think that I added Ashley's song to the playlist, and I definitely wanted to. That was fire. So let's go ahead and add that in. All right, next up, we've got Figure Out the Feeling. Let's give that a listen. And Aaron, let us know about the song. All right, let's check it out.
of self.
Sorry, I had to cut it. We can't listen to the entire 8-minute song. We got to listen to other ones. But this was really cool song, and I'm going to add this to the playlist too. So if people want to listen to the full thing later, they absolutely should. Really cool one. You know, I will say the very beginning. What's the beginning? I think what I would do is maybe it just needs to be mixed a little bit more, but I actually really do like the mix for it sounds pretty good for most of the song. But do you hear how it's like very quiet here, and then all of a sudden, like when this guitar comes in, it feels like the guitar is like very loud. It's just a little bit too loud. I think that's a matter of just bringing up kind of the earlier section, like in volume. And then also I would quantize this guitar, because the way that it is, the guitar is like acting, or when we get to this section, like it sounds like you plugged in your guitar and played the first thing that came to you and didn't do anything else to it, which makes me think that it's not a very professional song, if that makes sense. Versus, I really like this riff and the blue notes you use, and it sounds really good, but it's just not like quite like quantized. It just still feels like you like weren't really like doing it very intentionally, if that makes sense. I think once you're playing this and like quantizing it to the grid so it sounds like you mean it when you play it and you're not just like noodling around, then I will like take it seriously as a real song from the very beginning, if that makes sense. I hope that didn't sound harsh, but basically moral of the story is make sure it's quantized. Coolio. That's one note I had, and then the other note I had, I love how many harmonies you come in. I think one, they are a little bit loud, you can bring them down, but also they're not super symmetrical. Like it sounds just like a bunch of different versions of you. I want it to sound like one meshed, like formed version of you, i.e. I just want you to clean up the harmonies. So timing wise, making sure that you are saying everything at the same time. The way that I do this is like literally just like looking at the audio files in Ableton, increasing the zoom on the clip zoom so I can really see the waveforms, and then just lining everything up and making sure that everything's starting in the right place. And I will cut clips and move them slightly and like whatever. Align all of your vocals, and then also create fades, take out breaths you don't need. I don't want to be distracted by you singing like slightly different in both sides. You know what I'm saying? Cool. Those are the only two things that really stood out to me, but otherwise it's a really cool song, and I love the way it develops, and I definitely want to hear the whole thing, but I'll save that for later. Okay, cool. I think I added that to the playlist. Yes, fabulous. Okay, let's check out our next. Where is my cue? Right? Isn't my cue supposed to be down here? Where's the next one? Where's my cue? Oh man, that's annoying. If my queue got deleted, then I have to grab a new one. Okay, that's okay. It was going back up to the chat. I think the next one was Love by Bombay Cat. And then, let me just hit play. And then the next one is gonna be Taste of Summer by Aoki. Add to queue. Oh. I was zoomed in. All I had to do was zoom out. There's my queue. All right, that's off the queue. That's off the queue. This is on the queue. Let's play Love. All right.
Who broke your heart? Or is it just another way you save yourself from nightmares? The last one, yeah. Try to forgive them, but you have to. Now you wish they put it down. Who you believe are wrong? Let it crumble, you can say. You should give yourself a chance. You should just let it all again. Love's gonna break your heart. Love's gonna break you up. Doesn't mean you will be alone forever. Love's gonna break it up. Love's gonna fall apart. Doesn't mean when you love you will get it up. Love's gonna fall apart for you to get it up. Love's gonna break you up for you to get it up.
Love is patient. Love is kind. I learned it from my mother. Kept holding her on. Stay steady, tread on. The race to he was told that he was a madman. Though he's a good man now. You should know people can change. You should just let it all and love again.
Love's gonna break your heart. Love's gonna break you up. Doesn't mean you will be alone forever. Love's gonna break it up. Love's gonna fall apart. Doesn't mean when you love you will get it up. Love's gonna fall apart for you to get it up. Love's gonna break you up for you to get it up.
I don't smoke.
Caught up in the school, it's a goddess love. They said the kind of dates I always heard. I rap some diet that always works. Even if I kill my God beside me. I try to be patient, humble and kind. I try to be chaste, diligent and wise. I try to be everything they want. What is even good? Are your faith is blind?
Hey, you be a little reckless. You can be quick, don't stress about how love. Hey, you be a little reckless. You can be anything, God will never tell them.
My mama told me not to touch a cigarette. She thinks that only bad people smoke. She thinks that after you don't get to see heaven. But mama, they told me I'm made for hell. They won't make me live a lie. I should hear the call. What if they don't say I want? Fucking with the girl,
Wow, what a cool, interesting track. Bombay Cat, thank you so much for submitting this one to us. Wow, we've had so many like tracks with different cool sections in them today. And that's pretty fun. So what I will say for this girly pop, let me just go through what notes I made. Do you want your harmonies to be more forward than the main vocoded vocals? So it took me kind of a minute to like understand how I would shift this to get it to maximize. Listen to the difference between your harmonies and your lead vocal in terms of like presence and volume. The hoo, those immediately override the vocal that you have. Your vocoded vocal is obviously meant to be more in the back because you're also filtering it. And so I'm two things. One, I would bring down your harmony volume. I just think it's too upfront. And two, I would make your vocoder a little bit more present. I think it's being filtered too much. I do like the kind of like knocked back vocoded sound to it, but I think that paired with the additional filtering, I'm like I don't know if this person like wants me listening to the vocal. You know, it's like so like buried and unintelligible that I'm like, why is it there? Do they want me to listen to it, or do they want me to like know what's happening but it be at the background? So that's what's just a little bit confusing, is like the placement of that. And then the panning on the lead vocal for the chorus I think is distracting. I would not pan it. I would also say, what's some kind of like automation or like change you can make to really make that chorus like get bigger and pop? Like, it doesn't change in energy, but I can tell it's the chorus, right? So how can we change the energy? One, are there a couple more instruments you can add in? I'm hearing like a couple, the guitars that are like, boom, boom, right? What are some like long sustained chords that have like a gnarly amount of distortion, right? But aren't taking over your vocal, right? Something like that, pan left and right, would help to both expand and like bring up and forward your track or your chorus. Another thing, a suggestion was like automating the chorus to get bigger. And this is a matter of essentially bringing down the width and the volume by using a utility, the width on a utility and the gain on a utility, to just slightly lower right before the drop. So like width at 70%, volume at negative, or gain at -2%, -2 decibels. And then when your chorus hits, pop it back to 100% width and 0 decibels of gain. And so it's like you're pulling it back, but you don't really notice because you're doing it so slowly. And then when the chorus comes forward, it's like, oh my God, the chorus is there. But really it's just back to normal width and normal volume, but it just sounds bigger. So those are kind of my two big things. But then I also had a lot of little things here, like more compression on the vocals, etc. But I think you did a really fun job with this. I really like this one. I'm going to add this one to the playlist. Great job today. I'm loving these. And a shout out to the folks in the chat who are wondering if their song is going to be on the queue. We go through 5 songs and then I open up the queue, and you better be there to type the name of your song, and then I will put it on the queue. So we're just doing 5 at a time, and then we go through the queue. And then, yeah. Okay, next up we have Oil Wars by, remind me whose this is. It is uploaded as Zed, but I'm not sure what your username is. So if this is your song, let us know and let's check it out.
It's too damn hot out here. Heavy iron in hand. Should I even care? us away. It's war against the young. They fight for wealthy men. They're trying to bring us to a place they've always been. They're fighting for oil, that black flowing gold. We die on foreign soil when we do what we're told.
Coolio. Fuck yeah, dude. I think that the only thing here was just your vocal recording. I don't think your vocals sound good, like the actual quality of your voice. Yeah, who said Billy Idol? Yeah, that, or I was thinking like Bruce Springsteen. Like you have a very classic tone to your voice. You're hitting the notes, but I would get, my guess is that you like recorded these vocals with like the mouthpiece on like an earbud is what it sounds like. Sure, SM7B. Okay, then maybe it is your vocal production is on bad. Wait, the Shure SM7B. Oh yeah, that's too expensive of a microphone to, well, not really that expensive of a microphone. It might just be a shitty mic. I haven't used this mic, so I'm not really sure. But I would be interested to hear how your dry vocals sound, because they just sound low quality in the box. I feel like it would, yeah, I'm curious to know how you did process those vocals. If you are looking to learn more about vocal production, I have a YouTube video on it. Lillian Francis vocal production, how to process vocals. This one is specifically on my vocals, but I explain my thought process behind everything that I do. So you can apply it to your vocals. I would highly suggest checking this out and asking yourself what is different about what you're doing to what I'm doing, and maybe that therein lies the issue for why your vocals are sounding kind of scratchy in tone. But otherwise, I think the instrumental sounding really great, and it's just like a very good classic rock track. So I don't really have any tips for the instrumental. I would just get a nicer mic, or maybe it's the way that like your room is set up. Maybe try bringing the mic to someone else's house and seeing if it sounds better, or seeing if one of your friends has a mic that you can use in your studio and seeing if it sounds better that way. Cool. Great. Okay, let's check out the next song on our queue, which is Steven's Getting Down. Let's check it out, Steven.
This is all ranking. Phone buzz one last time this morning. Said we're done like it was nothing. I just laughed, tossed it on the dresser. Poured my coffee, wore my reddest lipstick. Didn't cry, I called Keisha, touched the tea. Said you're free. Mirror said I shine without a shadow. Dress so tight it tells a whole new story. He thought I crumble, stay inside a moat, but honey, I was born to steal the spotlight. Saw his face flash once across the screen. Swipe left so hard, it broke the dream. No more texts I gotta read. No more planes, more to feed his need. The club's my church, the bass my prayer, and I'm dancing like I never got tonight. Every step's a middle finger, feel it right. Hands up, heels high. Let the speakers shake the ground, ain't looking back. I'm getting down tonight. X thought I fold, turned into a ghost, but I resurrected in stilettos. Toast to freedom, to rhythm, to girls who ride while he's stuck replaying our goodbye. I don't miss you, I miss the version I became before your doubt put out my flame. Now watch me blaze with the strokes ignite. This ain't a rebound, it's my second life. Get down tonight, leave that heartbreak in the rearview light. Get loud tonight, every step's a middle finger, feel it right. Hands up, heels high, let the speakers shake the ground, ain't looking like. I'm getting down tonight.
This is
Well, the final vocal and then at the end was a little loud. I think it was just a really compressed track maybe, and so it just like brought up that lower piece or whatever. But cool, I really like this one, Steven. Thank you for submitting this. This is a great hook. And Josh, when we were talking earlier about like hooking and finding the hook, like you don't need more notes, you just need like the right notes or the notes that stick. This is a really good example of a really simple instrumental hook where you're like, oh, yeah, I hear that. That's a weird one. Because it's like... Let me just find out what that is. Is it boop 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 dee 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 dee. No, it can't be a 2 to the 3. What is that? It is! It's literally just the 1, 2, 2, 3. That's really interesting because it sounds weirder. I think maybe either it's the chord it's playing, if it's a chord, or just in relationship to the other notes that are playing. Very simple, but that one stuck in my head. But I will say, Steven, for the AI vocals, I think it's a cool tool for songwriting, and like she makes a great robot singer, but songwriter, but I don't like the vocals just sound AI, you know, they sound not good in terms of like quality. I think that this song, but with a real singer on it, fucking slam. And that's kind of the thing with a lot of your songs. I think if you could create I'm sure there are amazing R&B vocalists out there who would love to be on this track because you are creating a ton of really good content. I mean, you've been coming here for months and you always have a new banger. And so like someone who's in the R&B space who's doing sync, this is exactly what they want. A full track, fully produced, and the song already written, but they just get to sing vocals over it. And so I'm curious if you have some kind of like a connection there with a vocalist who can sing these, and then your track just becomes way more powerful. So I would be on the lookout for a R&B singer who's doing sync, who is looking for a producer to write with. For sure. Okay, I think that's the main things that I wanted to say about that. So, coolio. Let's check out the next song on our queue. AOD Vocals V2 Taste of Summer. Let's give it a listen.
Probably can't hear me anymore, but...
How you doing? Better?
Who am I in the stories you tell? An angel cast from heaven, we was living through hell. We was really going through it. We was really going through it. Thanks, Mom. You're my #1 fan.
Yeah? I'm your biggest fan.
Okay, love the ending. Obviously, love a good mom moment. Oh my god, I love moms. Cool. This is the bop. I'm assuming you're gonna put more vocals on it, maybe after you recover from nose surgery, which congrats. I hope that that went well and you're on your road to healing. That's great. And yeah, just I think bringing down those percussive elements, and then I would love to take the filter off of that bass. Sounds like it's being kept pretty small in its little box, and there is not a lot in this song happening, and there's plenty of room for that bass to hit harder, and I think it'll hit harder if you don't have that filter on it. So that's really all I have to say about that in terms of the vocal production when I can hear it.
We was really going through it.
Sounds pretty clear. Can I hear you making mouth noise in the background though? I don't know if I'm making that up or if you're, I can like hear you like opening your mouth right there. It might be. But yeah, I say just like keep on working on this one. It's a cool vibe, and it's a good example of you don't have to have a million sounds in a song. It can be simple and it can be powerful, right? Actually, the fewer sounds that are doing more heavy lifting, the better. So fuck yeah. Okay, let's see. Oh, and I'll add this to the playlist as well. I feel like I may have forgotten to add a couple to the playlist. I sometimes do forget about the playlist. Let me see, just looking at this, if my memory gets jogged. I don't remember a lot of names. Sorry, guys. So if you... Oh, did we add Bounce Back? That was a banger. Let's see if it's already on there. Yeah, it's already part of it. So no changes were applied. If I forgot a banger, please drop it in the chat and I'll add it to the playlist. Okay, cool. Let's see if we got anything else on the queue. No. Okay, so let's reload the queue. So if you have a song that has been uploaded to the Boombox that we have not played yet, go ahead and drop the name of that song in the chat. And also give me 1 second. Let me grab my water bottle from the other room. All right, we got a couple more added in here. Let's refresh. So what have we got here? We've got Final Low, Imagining Ghosts, great. Add that to the queue. And we've got Mystery 1.4. There we go. Add that to the queue. Que más tenemos? 8-bit sunset. Okay. I'm only gonna play one of them, so I'm gonna add 8-bit sunset on. But if you wanted me to listen to the other one, let me know and I'll change it to the other one. And then we have Displaced by Luna Midnight. And we have room for one more on the queue. If one more person has one they would like to submit, let us know. I can add it to the queue. And again, just want to say how grateful I am for you guys for showing up and hanging out and sharing music. I love doing this, and I truly do this for you guys. As long as y'all keep showing up and enjoying this and getting something out of it, then I will continue to be going live for you. So just wanted you to know how much I appreciate you here. Ugh! Sorry, my chair is giving me some difficulties. Okay, nobody else had anything to add to the queue, so we're gonna hop into it. Final Low, Imagining Ghosts. Let's check it out.
whole life imagining ghosts, worrying about the pathway to the future. But all there will ever be is what's happening here. And the decisions we make in this moment. So many of us choose our path out of fear disguised as practicality. That you can ask the universe for it.
Wow, what an epic banger. Dude, cool. Okay, wait, heavy sidechain on the kick and snare. To what? I don't hear it dipping at all. I'm not hearing it bounce. I'm curious what you sidechained the kick and I guess the snare to. Let me know. But this was just like an epic banger, dude. What a vibe. Really very emotive. I don't really have notes on this. I did mention at one point, yeah, the side chaining thing doesn't necessarily need side chaining, but I think a little bit of bounce could be nice. And then there's a section here where I feel like some like ghost kick side chains could be really cool. So by ghost kick side chains, I mean kicks that are on a track that is turned off. So you don't hear the kicks, but they're still being used as an input for this side chain. So you're getting dips, these dips, but there's no kick there. And it can be really cool to hear that. An example of like tracks that use this, Billie Eilish, Golden Gate, what's that sound? I felt the golden, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. Everything I Wanted. Do you hear the bounce? Right, you hear the bounce, but you don't hear the kick. That could be cool to have just some random like, whoo, like ducks in this kind of like empty area here. And yeah, in terms of the instrumental group being sidechained, I don't hear the sidechain. So I think you definitely have room to experiment with it being pulled out more. Coolio. Okay, I think that's all I have to share about this track, but really fucking cool track, and I hope you submit again. And did I add this to the playlist? Avid. To the playlist. Let's go. All right, next on our agenda, we got Mystery by Kitnos. Let's check it out. Sick. This is a really cool track. Lots of potential here. So thank you, Kinos, for sending this in. A couple things I noticed. One, this first synth at the beginning can come much up. It's like so in the back, but nothing's happening here besides just the drums, right? So we have a lot of space to fill. So I would say bring up that synth both at the beginning and at the end. It just sounds like it's in the background, but it's like, you know, when you play a show and like everyone's standing in the back and you're like, everyone take 4 big steps forward. That's how I feel about this instrument. I'm like, what are you doing hanging out back there when like there's all this open space up front? And then in terms of this guy, so I think this is like the chorus, right? But it's interesting because this plays that same synth riff, if I'm correct, plays for like so long that it just becomes the drop again, and then so it's just like playing the entire time. So one, figure out what's another synth that you can bring in to swap them out, right? Because I'm like, is this the chorus or is this the verse that drops into a chorus and then is this the chorus? You know, like choose what synth you want to use for your chorus and then use that for your chorus. And then when you're not doing a chorus, bring in something else that's similar but different so that I know it's a different section. Otherwise, I can't differentiate when I'm chorusing, when I'm A sectioning, B sectioning, etc. So I would say that. And then also you have that same synth playing just front and center this entire time here. I would love if maybe halfway through you took that same synth and you layered it with itself an octave below, right? Just adding a note an octave below so it gets thicker, right? Because nothing really too interesting happens between here and here, and I want our melodies to continue to build and thicken. So either that synth but an octave lower or a different synth. And yeah. And Final Out says needs counter melodies too. Yeah, maybe counter melody in a different range, right? You've got that top range taken care of. You got the bottom taken care of. That kick is hitting. Well, for the most part. Actually, I think I'd say at one point I need your kick to hit harder. It's more the bass that's hitting. The kick is actually, I don't think, hitting very much, and I think that it could hit more. I would just swap it out with a different kick that has like a little bit more like low end oomph to it, because it's just a little bit, I'm really just hearing like the highs of the kick for this one. But otherwise, very cool. Thank you for submitting this. Fuck yeah, Keat knows. Okay. Let's see. We got, I think, a couple more on the queue. 8-Bit Sunset. Let's listen. Wow, very cool song here. Very unique, which I love to hear. Anyone who's making music like I haven't really heard before, I love, and this felt very original, so congrats. Really cool sound design and world building. I had like a couple ideas for like little synth parts that it could be cool. And then just like a little idea, instead of just throwing in a percussive loop in there, maybe bringing in more slowly with like a filter or with volume or something like that, just to kind of, I think that's a little bit more the vibe of the project, is a little more like slow and expansive and like changey. So maybe instead of just putting in the percussion like that, you can have it come in more naturally, and then or more subtly. Really no other tips on this, but I would say, like, what is your intention for this song? Because it doesn't have like an A section or a B section, right? It's just kind of like, it's a journey. And I think that's totally fine. And like the journey that it takes is really cool. And also, I don't feel like we ever, I will say, I don't feel like we ever really fall into like a meditation with this one, which I think that could kind of take it to the next level in terms of like what you might want it to be intentionally. So like a song that comes to mind is John Hopkins' is it Luminous Beans or Singularity? Oh man, I hope you guys know this song. Let me see if this is the song. No, it's Singularity. Okay, if you guys don't know the podcast Song Exploder, I assume most of you do, but Song Exploder, John Hopkins, check out this episode with John Hopkins. He breaks down the track Luminous Beans. That is the song that I thought I was listening to. Okay, I guess this is the one I want to share with you guys. Oh, that's the edit. That's why it wasn't sounding normal. Okay, so this song did remind me of this song, but sorry, my ADHD brain is hopping to 19 different things at once. First thought that I will finish is, this is a really cool episode breaking down how John Hopkins programs the song I'm about to show you. It was so inspiring for me. I loved this episode. I would really check it out. This song that you have reminding me of this song because it starts out very nebulous at the beginning and you don't really understand what's happening until it keeps building. Right? A lot of different possible themes. This is actually a really cool moment. He's taking the kick and then slowing it down. Oh no, he's taking some other sound and then like slowing it down and then using it to become the kick. I don't know, he explains it in Song Exploder. But all that to say is it has a very long build, but it finds a really strong flow. Like, we get out of the gobbledygook and it's like, it's still organic and natural, but it's still like a club beat that's like a 4 on the floor that's taking us through. And I will say, I didn't feel like this song ever landed at like the, like, we're into the flow kind of state. And I think you could fix that by just figuring out how to get a 4 on the floor in there eventually, and then things just kind of naturally fall into that like repetitive cycle, if that makes sense. Cool. That would be my only recommendation if your intention is to kind of get your listeners in that flow state. Otherwise, I think it's keeping people in a chill zone, but never really like fully relaxing. So I think it's just like what your intention is with this song. But really cool song, and I don't know if I've already added to the playlist, but if I haven't already, let's add it. Okay, I think we got one more on the queue, and then we will open up the queue once more. So let's listen to this playlist.
wondering if I'ma ever come back. Stay in the present, it feels like the past. Trying to catch up, but it's moving too fast. Watching the world as it fucking collapse. Like in my music, I'm talking that gas. Like in my word at the back of the class. Trying to break out, but I'm finna relapse. Like, I got problems, text regret. Now I'm back inside my head. I just lay up in my bed, wondering if I let them in. I get high, smoke a blunt from my lungs, stop smoking up. I can't breathe, I'm feeling stuck. Never lacking, keep it tucked. Like, never know what I'm saying, so I always keep it shit. Motivation hit the flow, but I'm pushing out these fucking hits. Waiting for the moment that my life will finally fucking shift. If it don't, I'ma just say fuck it, then I'll end up in a ditch. Like the cash, wondering if I'ma ever come back. Stay in the present, it feels like the past. Trying to catch up, but it's moving too fast. Watching the world as it fucking collapse. Like in my music, I'm talking that gas. Like in my word at the back of the glass. Trying to break out, but I'm finna relapse. Like the cash, wondering if I'ma ever come back. Stay in the present, it feels like the past. Trying to catch up, but it's moving too fast. Watching the world as it fucking collapse. Like in my music, I'm talking that gas. Like in my word at the back of the glass. Trying to break out, but I'm finna relapse. Like.
Fuck yeah, cool beat, Luna. Yeah, the reason I asked if they were AI is just because they sound super processed and they sound kind of similar to the vocals that Steven was using, right? It's like this kind of crispy aura that they have to it that I was also hearing in your vocals. So I would bring down the high-end excitement. I don't think it's necessarily a question of saturation. I think the saturation sounds fine, but like there's some kind of like a high-end exciter or something that's like really I don't know.
Back of the glass, trying to break out, but I'm finna relapse. Like I got problems.
Yeah, you can hear that like really crispy airiness to it. That's giving kind of AI. So I would pull that back. I think less processing is definitely more when it comes to this, and I would bring down the volume because they're just like really far up front. But your vocals sound great. I just want them less processed. And then in terms of like the actual production, not really a ton of notes that I have except for I think in the sections where they're like your repeating sections, I can't really tell honestly where's the hook and which I wasn't really paying attention to where like the A section or B section or if it's like a verse or chorus or whatever. But whatever your B section is or like your bigger section or your chorus, I might want to layer with a couple more synths. Just like I was just hearing some like wide pads that were just kind of like humming slightly above. Right, something simple that's not really adding more melodies, but just creating an expansion, and then have them drop away when you get into back to the A section or whatever. Cool. Okay, but that was awesome. Thank you so much for submitting that. I'm stoked to hear it. So that is all that we have on our queue. Is there anybody else who submitted a track who we have not listened to it yet? If you have a track that you have uploaded to Boombox and I have not gotten to listen, please write the name of it. This is the final call for songs. Our next session is going to be, what's the weekend? In 2 weeks. So whatever that's going to be, April 7th or something. I would open my calendar here, but I don't really want my entire calendar to be open.